It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Divas That Care. My name is Candace Gish. Well, we're very excited that each and every one of you has joined us today. If this is your very first time, welcome. We hope that you're able to check out some of our other shows. We always love having brand new listeners onto our program because what we offer is a lot of inspirational and empowering podcasts. We have a variety of different hosts, and we interview amazing individuals from around the world. So I hope that you can go and check all of those podcasts out at divasthatcare.com. Today, I'm going to be introducing a brand new diva to our family. I'm so excited to be talking with her. Her name is Sheila Vasky, and I'm beyond excited. She's got this most amazing website. I really do love it. I think it's beautiful, and I can't wait to get to know her better. So, Sheila, welcome to the Divas That Care.
Oh, Candace, thank you so much for having me here. I truly am so grateful to have this opportunity and be on your show. I'm really excited.
Me too. And that's what I always say is that we get to meet these amazing people and really get to learn about them, but they become a part of our family, I always say there's been so many amazing women on our program that really become my soul sisters in so many ways, and because you really can relate to them. But before we kind of dive into today's program, which I'm really excited about, would you mind introducing yourself to our listeners today?
Absolutely. Love to. So yes, my name's Sheila Vasky. I live in sunny Florida in the Tampa Bay area. And I am a mother of two daughters, 17 and 20, almost 21. And I created this experience to talk and kind of make the world aware or wake people up as much as I can. It's been a God-driven purpose for me on being mindful and how powerful your mind can be. And I've gone through some really difficult journeys in my life, and through the power of my mind and soul, I've been able to heal out of some pretty amazing things. So I feel like I'm just called to share this message with the world and see what I can do to change the vibration and the trajectory we're on.
I love that. That's powerful. To be able to kind of know that you've got this purpose and that you're wanting to really impact the world is just amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Yeah, it's a strong calling.
So how long have you been doing this? How long have you been on this calling to be more mindful and to really impact people's lives?
Wow. It's, since I was a little girl, I knew I just wasn't quite like everybody else. I guess you could say that. And I always had this soulful, spiritual, very, I questioned everything and I just felt a very deep connection to God, to spirit. And that being said, as I grew older and kind of went through a lot of things in my life, like I said, I would say it was about 15 years ago, I started seeing 1111s. And I was in a difficult part of my marriage at that time, and my kids were young, and I was a stay-at-home mom, and I wasn't really sure what to do. And I just started journaling. I started journaling and praying and meditating every morning, and that has been my routine pretty much for about the last 15 years. And by doing that, I would start getting downloads on, this is what you need to do. And then it started about then, whereas maybe about 12 years ago, where I started a business that I started making jewelry. And I was making this jewelry, and people started buying them, and then people would come up to me and say, what are you doing with this jewelry? I don't know what it is, but I feel like I have great days when I wear it. And I'm like, I have no idea. So then I'm like, okay, there must be more to this. And then everybody kept saying, it's you that's making it. So that being said, I guess I don't want to draw this out too long, but I had started an inspirational jewelry line and had a big vision for it, and would ask and meditate every morning and pray and journal, and God would give me signs and more signs and more signs. And I guess I just keep following the signs. And then a couple of years ago, I lost that company when COVID happened, and I sort of lost my faith a bit and lost my practices and was like, well, who am I? Because I don't understand. I was kind of angry at God and felt like, well, wait, why did you take this from me when I worked so hard for this and I followed everything you told me to do? And then life wasn't really going well for me at that moment. And I couldn't define who I was anymore. And then in my darkest moment, I realized I can still inspire people through my voice. And that's when stars started to align again. I got back to my practices again and journaling again and doing my morning routine. And then sure enough, I was kind of given this sign that, why don't you write a book? You've been wanting to do that for 18 years. Why don't you write that book? And so then I started writing the book, and I did write one in a collaboration with some others, 22 other authors. And then when I was writing that, I'm like, no, I think I have the confidence to do another one. So, and make it my own.
That's awesome. Oh my goodness. That in itself is such a powerful story. There's so many things that I could take out of there. Everything from, the journaling part to the book. But it's so impactful. And I hear so many women chatting about that or talking about that, and that how they feel like they've lost their way and they're not too sure. And I find it quite interesting. A lot of you and I we're on a path, and I kind of see a lot of similarities in a lot of things that you're talking about. And, how I've been really kind of on the same journey, in the fact that I myself have been doing a lot of journaling lately. I've been, doing a lot of praying lately. I do a lot of meditating lately, because sometimes I do. I feel like, okay, where is this path taking me? Where am I supposed to go? What was my journey? Things have changed so drastically that you kind of sometimes feel, okay, now what? What am I doing? Am I doing something wrong? Am I doing something right? I don't know. And you kind of get lost. And I really respect you for what you've done, because you have a journal out there for people to do this. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about your book, but I want to talk about the journal that you wrote and that you put together. Just so that you can help some of our ladies out there that are kind of experiencing the same thing. It's a conversation I've had with quite a few women lately. That's why I was like, this is kind of amazing. Maybe this is exactly what we needed.
Maybe it's a sign, right? Exactly. Well, I guess you could say when I was writing the book, it was like, okay, I love this. And I put some practices in the book to teach people on each chapter, just make it relatable to the everyday person, right? But as I was writing that, I'm just thinking, but here's the thing. Everybody just reads the book and they're inspired. It's like, January 1st, you join the gym. And then you're there for a week, and then, you miss a day, and then you don't go back. So it's the same thing. We're so accustomed to the typical patterns and behaviors that we have, that being mindful every day just sort of alerts you, right? So as I'm like this, they're going to read this book, and then they're going to put it away, and they'll be inspired for a week, and then they're going to go back to their old habits. So how can I make people put it to paper and hold them accountable for it? And I would say that here's the thing, Candace. I feel like a lot of people have a lot of excuses, and they're legit, right? And a lot of people will say, I just don't have the time. I'm so busy. I'm up at 5 a.m. and I got to get my kids ready, and I got to do this, and I don't have time. And in a lot of those, no offense to a lot of journals out there, but I just would grab a notebook when I started. But some people just don't know where to begin, or it's overwhelming, and you don't know, how do I do this? What do I even write? And so I sort of made this so easy to use. It can be done in 10 minutes. And when people start, and it prompts you with questions. So it holds you account, because I had created also a deck of cards that you could pull a card each day. And that card has a quote and exercises to do. And then the journal will ask you, did you do the card? How did you feel? Did you notice anything differently? And then every 10 sessions, it'll ask you like a reflection page. How have the last 10 sessions been? How many did you miss in the last 10 sessions and why? Like literally, so multiple choice questions. So it's like you really can do this in 10
excellent.
minutes. And if you really, yeah, it's about kind of holding yourself accountable and staying consistent. And I feel like most people are just overwhelmed with it, and it doesn't have to be overwhelming. Once you start, it becomes so much easier.
It's nice to get into that routine of things too, right? We sometimes, if we know what we're going to be doing, then it's a lot easier than trying to start from scratch and figuring things out, because that's some of the things that I found challenging is, what do I journal? What do I start reading? How do I make this all fit together? And if you've got something in front of you that helps you, oh my goodness, it makes it so much simpler, and then you don't have to think about it. And I think that's part of it, is trying to not having to worry. We want things simple. We don't want the frustration, because then, we just give up.
Right. And I just wanted to get people in a practice of like, you might wake up and be like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to write today, but there's questions. How do you feel as you woke up this morning? Is there anything on your mind you want to talk about? So it literally is asking you questions, because subconsciously we all do have these feelings and we have these emotions, and maybe we just need to express it. And I got to tell you, like, there are days where I might just be so frustrated. It's like 14 pages later, and I'm like, oh, wow, I got that out, and no one had to hear me vent. I vented to myself, and as I'm writing, and as you or they will begin to write, people will start to you'll hear things, you'll feel things, you kind of reflect on everything, and that's really important.
And I like it that you do it in the morning. I like to do things in the morning also. But why is that important? Is it, that's something that I think a lot of people talk about. Do they do things in the morning, or should they do it at night? Why did you decide to do it as a kind of a first thing in the morning?
For me, I think any time of day that you feel like it's good for you, you go for it. But for me, it was, having 2 young children and running them everywhere, there was just never any time in the day. By the end of the day, my brain's fried. I'm exhausted. So it's kind of my kickstart to my day, in a way of like putting myself in a mental state of like, how's my day going to go today? What's bothering me? Let me get it out. I'm basically manifesting what I want my day to be like. And gratitude is a big, huge part of that. So each session will say, like, list 3 things you're grateful for and why. Why are you grateful for them? And sometimes those things are hard to even find when you're having a bad day. But if you can get there, you're changing the vibration and the energy of your soul, which will change the trajectory of your day. So it's sort of a cleanse for each day, or at least an effort to be more aware of how your day is going to go, or how you want it to go. You're basically kind of manifesting what it is you want for that day to happen, or getting things off your chest so that you can release it. Mm-hmm.
And I love that they're a companion. The 3 of them are a companion system. Your book, the journal, the cards, it all works together.
Right. And it is so easy. Like I said, I made this so simple, so easy to use, so people would not feel overwhelmed or feel like they can't relate. It's super relatable, very, very simple. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. And you have another book that you are launching here this weekend. And I want to talk about that too, because I'm assuming it's going to be in the same line on.
Yeah. So the last book, the book that I has already published is called Voices of Truth, Engaging Speakers. And I'm a chapter in that book with 22 other authors that collaborated on their own stories. And it was as I was writing that where I said, okay, I can write my own book. Why am I scared to do this? So I did, and that's when I created Powerful Mind, Powerful Soul. That's the name of the book. And as I mentioned, as I was writing the book, I said, I think we need more than this. So I created the cards. Then I created the journal. So I'm actually you can buy them individually, but I'm calling it the Powerful Mind, Powerful Soul experience. If you really go with all 3 things, it's just got a more of an impact and holds you more accountable to keeping your daily routine consistent.
Your official launch is this weekend.
Yes, it is. The Powerful Mind, Powerful Soul officially launches Saturday the 19th. Yep.
Wow. It is, and
very
it looks
excited.
Beautiful. Like I was looking at it, and I'm like, everything is just, and I love the colors. Do you know, it's calming, it's relaxing, it just feels right.
Thank you so much. I have to give credit to my children, because my first design was different, and I was like, what do you guys think? And they're like, honestly, Mom, it's not aesthetically pleasing. They're like, we're not attracted to that. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so what do I need? They're like, softer colors, more aesthetics. And I'm like, oh, okay. So then I created this new image and the new colors, and you're right. I feel like it draws you in, and it feels calming and soothing, and I do love that about it. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, and it's funny how our girls are so honest. I have 4 daughters, and they're around the same ages as yours. And they're very brutally honest sometimes, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness. But it's always it's great, because probably like yourself, I've really included my children in all the things that I do, because I really wanted to provide, a platform for them to be inspired. And I can see that with you, is that this is probably something that is inspiring them to be everything that they can be.
Absolutely, 100%. And, Candace, one of the other things, too, is I really wanted to gear this also to our younger generation. And I know we're really going through a really tough time on the earth right now, on this planet right now. And I feel like a lot of these kids with with technology, they don't really use their senses anymore. And so it was really important for me to really try to get kids to or young adults to learn how to tune into their intuition, tune into their energy and the world. We can't just block it out and keep our head in the sand or in the phone much longer. We've got to awaken to who we are meant to be, where we're going. Yeah. Discovering what
I feel the
our
same
own
way.
purposes are.
Yep. I think that we're going to be seeing a lot of things in the future that we could never have imagined that our children are going to experience. And I pray every day that it's going to get better, and something like this is just extraordinary, because what a great thing to help empower them, to help them get through this transition that they're experiencing.
Exactly. And us as parents, we weren't raised with all of that. So it's been a transition for us as well. And it's really hard to see what's happening. And they don't realize it, and it's funny, because it's like everyone our age is like, we used to go out and do this, and our parents told us to go out and stay out till the lights came on. We didn't have these opportunities, or it's completely flip-flop. Like, now don't go outside, don't do this. I got to track you everywhere you go, and I'm like, you got to know who you are. You've got to learn, and they've got to learn who they are, and they've got to feel, they have to be trusting their intuition, who they are as humans and where they want to go. And I just feel like that's gotten really lost in the last 10, 15 years.
I agree with that. Yep, exactly. Oh, wow. This has been so much fun. Oh, so Sheila.
Thank you.
Well, obviously this weekend you're going to be quite busy with your launch and stuff, but what is next? What are you planning on doing? Are you going to be doing workshops? Are you going to be doing live events? I know that I can see so much that you could be doing with this, and I am imagining that you are. So I was wondering if there's things that our listeners can attend. Do you do things online? What is it? How can they be a part of your journey?
Oh, that's a great question. As I said, I've just been kind of guided to do all of this, and I'm like, okay, now it's launching. What do I do? Now what? So as a matter of fact, my publisher is amazing, and she was like, Sheila, we need to do a workshop on how to use this Powerful Mind, Powerful Soul experience. And I'm like, what a great idea. So actually, I'm just putting a flyer together today in the Tampa Bay area, and we booked a date in the last Saturday of February that I'm going to do my very first workshop. But I a lot of people would say, well, do you want to coach? And I'm like, no, I don't really want to be a coach, but I do want to teach. And whatever I can do, I really just want to share my voice on as many platforms as I can to get this message out. I really feel like if you just do the experience, it's going to be a ripple effect. I really believe that one person can change 5 lives in 1 week. I mean, that's small scale. And if you can change 5 lives and share that experience, and those people can change 5 lives, I mean, it's a ripple effect. It's like throwing that little stone in the pond and watching that vibration and that ripple effect grow. So let's start with kindness. Let's start within ourselves and then project that everywhere we go. I think that that's really important. So I do have ideas and plans. I don't solid yet, but right now I think it's about getting the message out there that this experience exists and it's so easy to use. I would love to speak. That's one of my dreams, is to get this message across to as many people as I can. And I think workshops were something I never even considered until my publisher mentioned it to me yesterday. And I'm like, that's a great idea. So,
I love it.
Yeah, I guess I was so focused on this, I forgot about all the other stuff that comes afterwards. I wasn't sure.
Well, when you do put some stuff together, Sheila, we would love to have you back on the Divas That Care to, share that with all of our listeners, because I know that there'd be a lot of people that'd be very interested in learning more. But as I said, we are so excited about your launch this weekend. We're going to be posting all this on our social media so that our listeners and our tribe out there can check it out and be a part of this. So thank you. Thank you so much for coming on to our program and talking with me today. I've had so much fun.
Thank you. I've had so much fun. This was wonderful, a wonderful experience. I can feel your beautiful spirit, and I hope I get to shake your hand and give you a hug sometime.
Oh, my goodness, I love that. And I'd like to come to California right now, because right now I'm looking outside and I have quite a bit of snow. So I would definitely like to get out of the snow and have some nice weather. Oh, my goodness. Well, as I said, I really would love you to come back on the Divas That Care. I know that there's quite a few of our Diva hosts on the network that would be really interested in sharing this with all of their listeners also. So I'm so excited to connect you with them. Excellent. Well, and to all of our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope that you're able to check out Sheila's amazing website, her amazing book that is launching this weekend. As I said, I've had the opportunity to look at her website here, and it's absolutely extraordinary. I know that this whole system, the journal, the book, the cards, they're an amazing experience that I think that everybody should go out and check out. So again, thank you, Sheila. Thank you to all of our listeners. Make sure that you do something kind. Until next time, everyone.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.